Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video, we are going to learn how to create ClickUp task from Google Forms responses. So here I've created a task detail Google form, and here in this case I want whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically using that detail, a new task should be created in my ClickUp account. So here to build this connection, I need to connect these applications using an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. So here Pabbly Connect works on two principles, that are trigger and action. So here our trigger application will be Google Forms and our action application will be ClickUp. So to learn this process step by step, let me take you to my screen. Welcome to my screen. So here you can see the Google form which I have created with the name task details, and here I've taken some fields such as task title, task description, start date and due date. So here in this case I want whenever a new form submission is made in my form, automatically using that detail a new task should be created in my ClickUp account. So here to automate this entire process, I need to connect my Google form with my ClickUp task, and for that I'm going to use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. This is the homepage of Pabbly Connect. You can visit this page by simply browsing for the URL pabbly.com/connect. Here you can see two options, that are sign in and sign up free. If you're a new user, click on sign up free and get free 100 tasks every month to explore the software. And if you're an existing user, click on sign in. Here I'm an existing user, so I'm clicking on sign in. Now after signing in, here you can see all Pabbly apps window where you can see all the applications of Pabbly. Here to connect my applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. This is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, and here to build my connection, I need to create a workflow first. So for that, I'm going to click on this create workflow button that is given on the top right corner. Now here in this create workflow dialog box, I have to give a name to my workflow. So here I'm going to give the name as create ClickUp task from Google Forms responses. And here I'm going to select my folder as automations. You can select your folder as per your need. Also, you can create multiple folders to save your workflows accordingly. And here to learn how to create a new folder, you have to click on this learn more link. And by clicking on this, it will take you to our forum window. And here in this window, you can see all the instructions to create a new folder in Pabbly Connect. So moving back to the Pabbly Connect dashboard. And now here to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this create button. Now here in this workflow window, you can see we have successfully created a workflow with the name create ClickUp task from Google Forms responses. And here you can see two most important principles of an automation process, that are trigger and action. Where trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means action is a response towards a trigger. Your automation can have a single trigger but multiple action steps. Now let's begin with our automation by simply setting up a trigger. So here I'm going to select my trigger application as Google Forms and my trigger event as new response received, so that whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response. And now here you can see we have received a webhook URL. That means we will use this webhook URL to connect our Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. So here, following the instruction given below, here I've already logged in my Google Forms account, and I have also created a new form with the name task details. So now here, before connecting our Google Forms with Pabbly Connect, let me tell you a very important step that you have to perform in your Google Form, that you have to make your Google Form last field as a required one, and by doing this, the response will be captured till this field. So after making it a required field, what you have to do is that you have to collect your Google Forms responses at a particular destination. So for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to click on this responses. And here you can see we have received the option to link to sheets. So here I want all the responses which I received in this Google form, automatically that response should be sent to a particular destination first. So for that, what I'm going to do is that here I'm going to link this Google form with my Google Sheet. So for that, I'm going to click on this link to sheets. And here it is giving me two options, that are create a new spreadsheet and select the existing spreadsheet. So here I'm going to create a new spreadsheet for this form. And here you can see it has successfully created a new spreadsheet in our Google Sheet with the name as task details responses and the fields as timestamp, task title, task description, start date and due date. So here to check this connection, let's do a test submission in our Google form. So for that, let me take you back to my Google form. Here I'm going to preview this. And now here I'm going to enter dummy data and do a test submission. So for that, here I'm going to enter a task title such as add all lead data in Microsoft Excel. So here I've added a task title and now I'm going to add a description for that. So here I've created a task description which says create MS Excel sheet and store all leads data. And now I'm going to select a start date for my task. So here I'm going to select today's date only. And then here for the due date, I'm going to select 27th June. So here I've successfully added all the details in this form and now I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says thanks for submitting your contact info. So now let's go and check our Google Sheet. And here you can see we have successfully received a response here. That means we have successfully connected our Google form with our Google Sheet. So now here what we are going to do is that we are going to connect this Google Sheet with our Pabbly Connect so that whenever a new response is received here, automatically that response will also be captured in Pabbly Connect. So for that what we are going to do is that we are going to click on this extensions and from here we are going to select add-ons and under add-ons we are going to select get add-ons. Now here in this Google Workspace Marketplace, we are going to search for our add-on that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And then you have to install this add-on in your Google Sheets. So here I've already installed this add-on. So moving back. And after installing this add-on in your Google Sheets, you have to follow the same steps. So now here after installing this add-on, you have to click on this extensions again. And then you will be able to see an option that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks here. So from here you have to click on this initial setup. And under initial setup, you can see two options that are webhook URL and trigger column. So here for this webhook URL, let me take you back to Pabbly window. And here I'm going to copy this webhook URL. Moving back to Google Sheet. And here I'm going to enter the webhook URL. Now after entering this webhook URL, here it is asking for trigger column. So here in the instruction it says the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to webhook URL. So here you can see our last data column is column E. So here my trigger column will be column E. So now here after adding this webhook URL and trigger column, here I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says setup configured successfully. So moving back. And now after setting up the webhook URL, you have to follow another very important step so that all the responses received in this Google Sheet can be captured by Pabbly Connect easily. So for that, you have to click on this extensions again. And from here, you have to click on this Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And from here, you have to click on this send on event. So here by doing this, Pabbly Connect will capture the response easily. So now let's go and check it again. And here you can see we have received a tick here. That means we have successfully turned this on. So now after doing this, what we are going to do is that we are going to send a test data to Pabbly Connect. So for that, going back to initial setup. And here I'm going to click on this send test. And here you can see it says test data sent successfully. So now let's go and check our Pabbly window. And here you can see we have successfully received a response here where we have received the trigger column, timestamp, task title, description, start date, due date and other details. So with this, we have successfully set up our trigger. Now let's move to action step. And here I'm going to select my action application as ClickUp and my action event as create a task. So that whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically using that detail, a new task should be created in my ClickUp account. And now to connect my ClickUp with Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on this connect. Here to build a new connection, I'm going to select add new connection. If your ClickUp account is already connected with Pabbly Connect, then you can click on select existing connection. And now here to build a new connection, it is asking for an API token. So here following the instructions given below, here I've already logged in my ClickUp account. And from here I'm going to click on my profile icon. And under this I'm going to select settings. And here under settings I'm going to select apps. And here you can see I have received the API token. So here I'm going to regenerate it. And then here I'm going to copy this API token. Moving back to Pabbly window. And here I'm going to enter the API token. So now here after entering this API token, here I'm going to click on the save. And here you can see we are now successfully connected. So moving forward. And now here it is asking for workspace, space, folder name and list name. So here to get all these details, let me take you back to my ClickUp account. So here you can see I'm using my space which is named as Pabbly Connect. And under this space I'm using my folder which is named as ClickUp. And under this folder I have created a list with the name task. So here we have got all the details. So moving back to Pabbly window. And here for the workspace I'm going to select Pabbly's workspace. And here for the space I'm going to select Pabbly Connect. And here for this folder name, I'm going to select my folder, which is ClickUp. And then I'm going to select my list name as task. So now after entering all these details, moving forward, and now here it is asking me for task name. So here, instead of entering this task name manually, here I will map the data. Mapping data means insert data from previous step. That means here I will map the data from the response I have received in my Google Forms. Mapping makes our text dynamic so that whenever a new response is received in our Google Forms, automatically this previously existing detail will be updated with the new one. So here I'm going to map the task title. And then here for the description type, I'm going to select text content, moving forward. And now here it is asking for the description. So again, here I'm going to map the description from the response I've received in my Google Forms, moving forward. And now here it is asking for assignee ID. So here I'm going to select the assignee ID as admin Pabbly Tunes, moving forward. And now here it is asking for tags. So here tags are not a required field, so here I'm going to leave it blank. But if you want to add any tag, then you can do it as per your need. And now here for this priority, I'm going to select my priority as high, but you can select your priorities as per your need. Moving forward, and now here it is asking for due date, and here in the instruction it says enter the timestamp in milliseconds. But here in our Google Forms responses, you can see that we have received a date in a different format, that is a very simple format, which is month, day and year. So here to format our date, we are going to add another action step by clicking on this add action step button. And here in this action step, we are going to select a feature by Pabbly, that is date time formatter. And here I'm going to select my action event as format date with time zone. You can use date time formatter by Pabbly for formatting date only or time zone, add or subtract time, current date, modify current date or date duration calculator also. So now here to connect my date time formatter, here I'm going to click on this connect. And here you can see it is asking for the date. So here I'm going to map the start date to format my date. So here I'm going to map the start date, moving forward. And now it is asking me for from format. So here my from format will be month, day, year. And here for the to format, I'm going to select the timestamp in millisecond. And here in from time zone, I'm going to select my time zone, that is ETC, UTC. And my to time zone will be the same. And now here, after entering all these details, here I'm going to click on this save and send test request. And here you can see we have successfully received a response where we have received the formatted date. So now we have to follow the same process for formatting the due date also. So for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to click on these three dots, and from here we are going to select clone step. So by doing this, we will receive a copy of the same step that will make our work easy. So here you can see we have successfully cloned this step. So here I'm going to click on this. And now here, instead of start date, I'm going to map the due date here. And here the other details will remain same. And then I'm going to click on the save and send test request. And here you can see we have successfully received the formatted date here. So with this, we have successfully set up this step also. So now moving back to ClickUp action step. Here I'm going to refresh this fields, moving forward. And now I'm going to map this due date from the response we have received in our date time formatter. So here we have formatted our due date in our third step. So here I'm going to map it. And here for the start date, I'm going to map the start date, moving forward. And now here it is asking me to select the status of the task. So here my tasks are open. So here I'm going to select the status as open, but you can select the status of your task as per your need. And now here, after entering all the required data, here I'm going to click on the save and send test request. And here you can see we have received a successful response here. So now let's go and check our ClickUp account. Here I'm going to refresh it. And here you can see we have successfully created a new task in our ClickUp account with the name as add all leads data in Microsoft Excel. So now let me open this for you. And here you can see other details such as task description, due date and end date. So with this, we have successfully set up our automation. Now let's test this automation by doing a real-time example. So for that, let me take you back to my Google form. Here I'm going to refresh it. And now here I'm going to enter another dummy data and do a test submission. So here for the task title, I'm going to enter the title as send sale alerts and my task description as send the sale alert messages to all the leads and the clients. And now I'm going to select a start date for this task. That would be 22 June and due date as 27 June. So here you can see I have successfully added all the details, and now I'm going to click on the submit. And here you can see it says thanks for submitting your contact info. So now let's go and check our Google Sheet first. And here you can see we have successfully received a response here. So now let's go and check our ClickUp. And here also you can see we have successfully created a new task with the name Send Sale Alerts. And also you can see the task description, start date and due date. So with this we have successfully tested our automation. Now let me summarize this whole video for you. So here we have taken our trigger as Google Forms and our action as datetime formatter by Pabbly and ClickUp, so that whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically using datetime formatter by Pabbly, the start and due date should be formatted as per the ClickUp format, and after formatting the date, automatically a new task should be created in my ClickUp account. If you want to use the same workflow, then you can find the Glow link in the description box below. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.
Not only these applications, you can integrate many other applications with Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubt, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, you can contact us on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can contact us on www.pabbly.com. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.